Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, Desolation. Um, it's a decent song. Um, it does have sort of a big grand finale sort of feel in a way, mainly because of how the acoustic guitars are used. Mark is just kind of he's just ringing out this he's just really ringing out this acoustic guitar, and he's playing kind of big notes on it, and also there's a very slight orchestra. As many times as I've listened to this album, and for how long this album's been out, I just recently kind of noticed the um, little orchestra pieces in the verses. Um, and at the end, the O's actually serve their purpose. Kind of as a big kind of goodbye to the album. It's very fitting. Um, but the lyrics themselves are just decent. Um, a little bit too book specific here and there. Um, but since it's the end of the album, and I've probably already said too much already, I'm not going to go too far into detail with that because we've reached my closing thoughts. Um, and this is where, I've let all the stuff build up from here, to this moment, that sort of thing. Um, so, do I like this album? Yes. Do I love this album? By no means. Which really sucks. Because you can interpret things all you want to, and you can make things your own and find enjoyment in your own ways, with a lot of different things just in life, just period. But with this album, you kind of can't. Like, you almost physically, like, literally cannot do that. And that is because, once again, I'm speaking very literally here. Like, you cannot fully understand this album unless you have read the book. Like, from start to finish, from cover to cover, you cannot understand this album without the book, period. Um, and that's why this album, at the end of the day, just kind of leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I want to like this album for what it is, and I want to, you know, interpret things here and there for my own enjoyment. But bottom line, um, unless you um, are a reader and or love science fiction, in my opinion, you can't fully get behind this album. Not only that, the album came out, and then I don't know how many months later the book came out, so they didn't even come out simultaneously, which you could say is like good business sense, because like, buy the album and then have X months later after they listen to the album, have them buy the book. Um, and that just kind of leads me into this feeling it almost feels a little gimmicky. Like, I just, this band that you love, you shouldn't have to buy their book. If you want to buy their book, that's great. For your own kind of separate enjoyment. But because the album and the book just go so hand in hand, you almost can't have one without the other. You sure as hell can't enjoy this album without you can't enjoy this album fully without listening to the book. You may, if you're just a reader and like you've heard of this Mark Tremonti guy and you like science fiction and you've seen this book on the shelf and you're like, oh, that sounds cool. You don't necessarily like need to listen to the album to understand the book, but you need the book to fully understand the album for damn sure. And I mean, that just really, really bothers me. Um, I I wanted to like this album so much more than I did, and I just feel like I physically can't, and I feel like I'm being like this sounds deep, but like I'm being emotionally held back from liking this album, and it's just this album definitely has its good moments, but it has its moments where even if I wanted to interpret things my own way and kind of put my own spin on things to enjoy them, I like in my mind I can do that, but I know that I physically can't do that because it's part of this book, part of this science fiction book. I'm not a big fan of science fiction and I'm not a reader, but like, hear, buy my music and buy the book. Music and I get that like literature, it's all literature and it's all somewhat connected, but I just they're you can't have one without the other sort of, and that bothers me. It just flat out bothers me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Have you listened to this album? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think that I can enjoy this album without listening to the book? Do you agree with me? Um, are there parts of this, are there parts of the book that are really interesting that I should check out? Let me know. All right. God bless you guys. Bye bye.